Hello everybody and welcome back to today's marvelous new video. I'm back and this is the first video in 2022. I hope you had an amazing New Year's Eve and an amazing Christmas, and I also hope you have an amazing year ahead. With that said, today we have a very interesting and baffling story. If you are as excited as I am, let's get started, shall we? Today we're talking about the TikTok account KnittedSon. As the story goes along, you will figure out why the account is named that. The story starts off with a series of TikToks posted by a woman named Mary about her knitted son. She first of all introduces him in the first few TikToks, and as the story progresses, we will learn to call him Wit. Now, this Wit boy looks about 7 to 8 years old. However, he is not exactly like other boys or kids. He is completely made out of yarn and cloth. A lot of yarn. In the first few videos, she explains that she's posting about Whitney because she hopes that everybody will love him as much as she does. And he has been put onto this earth to bring her peace, love, and joy. Now, when she explains that having Wit would never replace the loss of her actual son, she also hopes in the same breath that eventually her and Wit will learn to be like true family once again. After we've been introduced to both of the main characters, we are following them through their journey in life, if you will. We see them hanging out together, going to museums, cinemas, doing various other activities, staying home, chilling, reading Harry Potter, and all of these activities that you'd normally do with a human being. However, she's doing them with her knitted son, Whitney. After that, we are introduced to photos of Whitney essentially before he was born. It is basically pictures of yarn. A lot of yarn in all sorts of different colors. Now, this is where I'll take a moment to admire and appreciate the craftsmanship on this doll, essentially, this boy. It looks like it took a lot of time and effort from the creator to make him, which I admire very much. So bravo to whomever that knitted him. It is really impressive. It is also explained in the videos that creating him took 9 months. And we see little glimpses of his body parts, if you will, like a hand not sewn into the rest of the body and a leg that is not sewn into the rest of the body. However, this is when the story gets a little too creepy not to talk about. In a video posted by Mary, talking about the Ohio snow and how is it the last one and stuff like that, the people of the internet noticed fresh footsteps on the snow leading to her garage. So, in the following video, Mary goes to investigate. As she is approaching the garage, she notices on the doorknob there's a tiny piece of yarn wrapped around it and tied meticulously. And this is when Mary claims that maybe Whitney is coming out without her knowing, which, let's just take a second to talk about how Whitney is made out of yarn and cloth. And whatever they are doing together, she is basically doing as him or with him in the vicinity, right? So he's not doing anything, nor moving anywhere. Nobody's moving anywhere except her. After this video, Mary realizes that one of her knitting needle is missing. I think this lady knits a lot. I'm just judging by the looks of things. Upon this realization, she goes around through all different parts of the house looking for this needle because apparently she needed it. As she did with the rest of the house, she made her way into the garage to look for the needle. When she is in the garage, she notices that a window has been broken. And so she enters expecting the worst, obviously. However, when she enters, the scene of what she saw was not the worst thing ever, if you will. It is still bad, don't get me wrong, it is still bad, but it's not a murder scene, if you will, right? So what she stumbles across is a pentagram pinned to the ground with candles in all 5 corners. She also finds the lost knitting needle with what looks like a thick red substance on it, almost like blood on it. And right next to that is a small tiny snowman with his facial expressions made out of that same red thick substance that resembles blood quite a bit. Now, right after this realization, Mary says, "Oh no, what has he done?" Of course, this is in reference to Whit, as in who has he killed? Oh my god. There's also a note in the garage written on a piece of cloth with that same red substance, and it said, "In the house, you'll find me or I will find you." Now, of course, Mary, fearing the worst, she rushes back inside, gets back on the stairs, and she notices all along the stairs there are tiny pieces of yarn. And when she is finally in his room, she realizes that there is no sign of Whitney. I want to stress that again. The life-sized human knitted doll is nowhere to be found. Mary gets down and starts looking around downstairs for him. She's looking all over, she cannot find him. In the middle of her looking around for him, she steps on one of his crayons. Now, right next to this crayon is a piece of paper tied to a string that led her to somewhere. The first note says, "Follow to save yourself." The second note reads, "Bring me friends." And in this video, Mary explains that she cannot bring him more friends because he has been through so many friends. And with her saying this, images of boys, real life boys, flashes in the video. While she's reading this piece of paper, she hears footsteps behind her. And when she turns around, she realizes that her knitting needle that she left right behind her near the first paper is gone. It's missing. Now, we learn that eventually the string leads her to the basement, where the first thing that she stumbles across is a monkey suspended in the air with strings. This is very interesting to see. It is very well done. It's very well made. And then she says, "No matter what Whit has done, I will forgive him." Now, at this point, what she finds next is a series of photos suspended in the air, just like the monkey was. She finds a class photo of 1936 and 1961, both with separate individuals marked on them, and both from Benham High School and I think primary school in Kentucky. We don't get much more information out of this. It's just 2 class pictures that seemingly don't relate to the whole story, so moving on. I think us not getting more information about it goes to what happens next. As Mary is trying to figure out what that means, she hears Whitney behind her saying, "Mommy." The moment she turns around, she spots a human-like figure in the side of the basement. This is when the video cuts out. The next video is of Whitney's hand with that same knitting needle that went missing a few videos back. The knitting needle has that same red thick substance, and this is the last we see of Mary. Next is Mary's sister talking about how Mary has gone missing for 2 weeks. They've been looking for her, they cannot find her, and how is she extremely ill and she needs help. They've also called up authorities to do a welfare check. However, when authorities showed up at the house, Mary seems not to be around, so they left. And Mary's sister enters with a spare key. She tries to locate her sister in the house. She cannot find her, nor her life-sized human doll, Whitney. However, as her sister is looking around the house for her, she finds a note that said, "Please upload the rest of the videos on TikTok." So, upon Mary's request, the sister does oblige and uploads the rest of the videos on TikTok. This seems to be the end of the video, right? However, the story gets even more baffling. We are talking about how you have just been catfished. The whole thing is not real. It is made up by some creep on the internet. This is so interesting, let me tell you. So, the life-sized human doll is made by a woman named Mariak. And this is her last name. I'm sorry, I could not pronounce it for the life of me. So just this is the last name. Okay. She is a professional knitter, so she creates these for a living. This is her company name. She owns a company that creates these realistic knitted things. It is very interesting. Oh my god, I'm so into crochet, and this is a dream. This is so good and so well made. Now, Mariak is a mother of 2, and as they were growing up, they were wanting to cuddle less and less. So what she did is she knitted a replica of the both of them, so almost like a little brother to them both. And actually, the KnittedSon you see, he's actually a suit. So there is an actual child, an actual human being inside of that knitted suit. Story went very viral a while ago. However, it still seems like this TikTok account duped so many people, and it is so interesting what it had become from a very innocent art project to that family, because the whole family was in on it. There was a kid inside of that suit, and a mother, and the other brother. They were all in on it. However, people on the internet still found a way to make it creepy. It is kind of screwed up that someone took this very innocent and cute art project that a mother did with her children and made it into this very twisted and deep story about a mother losing her child and went obsessed with a doll that she created it herself and stuff like that. It is very concerning and very creepy. However, it is the internet, and did you ever expect any less? Alright, with that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did, and I'll see you, lovey-doveys, in my next one. Goodbye. Ouch.